The CE insists no political consideration in rejecting HKTV bid. Man jailed for 6 months in HKME falsified document case. And one of the world's largest oil fields auction off in Brazil.
Good evening. Hong Kong Television Network, or HKTV, has decided to seek a judicial review of the Chief Executive in Council's decision to reject its bid for a free-to-air TV license. HKTV Chairman Ricky Wong has accused the government of changing the rules of application. Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying has insisted there was no political consideration in turning down HKTV's application. Ronnie Samtani reports.
After spending a second night outside these central government offices, more than 100 HKTV employees staged a protest this morning as the Executive Council was about to start its weekly meeting. They demanded that the truth behind the decision not to grant a free-to-air TV license to their company be disclosed. The chief executive said repeatedly that there was no political consideration, but simply not every applicant automatically gets a license.
Anyone who is interested, whether it is HKTV or any other interested party who wish to join and offer their service to Hong Kong, will use the existing system. This is the application system, and this is also a system of the Chief Executive in Council making the ultimate decision to process such an application.
Leung said factors such as the company's investment strategies, projected advertising revenue, and the development of the television industry came into play. He denied there is any record of any official promising Ricky Wong a television license. Secretary for Justice Rimsky-Yoon, meanwhile, warned of possible legal problems if the Executive Council is forced to divulge details of meetings on television licenses. Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development Gregory So, whose bureau announced the decision on the new TV licenses, said today he is moved by HKTV's workers' enthusiasm to fight for a license for their company. HKTV Chairman Ricky Wong is disappointed and said his company will seek judicial review of the Chief Executive and Council's decision. He accused the government of changing the rules of application without giving him the chance to change his bid.
If I know that you are going to pick 2 from 3, I will definitely may increase our investment. I will probably increase our coverage. I was told that whoever fulfill all the financial and technical requirement, then we will be granted a license.
He reiterated that he has no political links and refuted suggestions that he was denied a license because of interference from Beijing. When asked if he has sufficient funds to see the judicial review through, Ricky Wong said that his company is in a better financial position than the 2 companies that did get licenses, and better still than some existing licensed television stations. He warned that this is going to be one uphill battle, which he has the money and the energy for. Ronnie Samtani, TVB News.
A retired businessman from Malaysia received a 6-month prison term at the Eastern Magistracy today. This case is in connection with a falsified document found at the Office of Hong Kong Mercantile Exchange. In sentencing, the magistrate ordered the police to investigate the exchange's chairman, Barry Chung. Vicky Kung has more.
The falsified document concerned was purported to be an HSBC certification of banking assets worth $516 million. Police found it in the office of the Hong Kong Mercantile Exchange when officers searched the premises in May this year. The fake document belongs to retired businessman Ong Shen Kuo, who was introduced to the exchange's chairman, Barry Chung, last year. The court heard that the pair met a number of times, and Chung then asked to borrow between $25 and $30 million. Ong said yes, but only after he had transferred 10 tons of gold from Thailand to Hong Kong and cashed in on the precious metal. The defendant then became acquainted with 2 men from the mainland who told him they could arrange for the transferal and an HSBC certificate. On Chung's request, Ong emailed a falsified statement to Chung, claiming he had $516 million worth of banking assets. Police later found a copy of the falsified statement at the office of the Hong Kong Mercantile Exchange. Ong was charged with managing falsified documents. In sentencing, the magistrate said he had taken into consideration the defendant's guilty plea, that he did not use the falsified document, and the fact that the document was not made by him. The magistrate added that given where the document was found, Barry Chung is suspicious. The magistrate urged the police to look into the matter. Vicky Kong, TVB News.
One of the world's largest offshore oil fields was officially auctioned off yesterday in Brazil. The Brazilian government sold the oil field to a 5-member consortium that includes 2 Chinese firms. The auction took place inside a Rio de Janeiro hotel, but outside, hundreds of demonstrators clashed with police to protest the sale. Brazil sold its offshore Libra oil field to a consortium that was the only bidder. Brazil's state-run oil company, Petrobras, is the largest shareholder in the consortium, taking 40% of the oil field. Other shareholders include China National Petroleum Corporation and China National Offshore Oil Corporation. Each of them has a 10% stake. 2 other companies, Anglo-Dutch Royal Dutch Shell plc and France's Total SA, each have 20% of the partnership. In the 35-year profit-sharing contract, the winning companies must return over 41% of their oil profits to Brazil's government. Because the Libra oil field is estimated to hold 12 billion barrels of recoverable oil, experts believe that will result in $410 billion for Brazil. And with that kind of profit, Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff called it an economic boost the country couldn't refuse.
A fabulosa riqueza.
She said residents will reap the benefits of having more jobs, better technology, and a brighter future. Outside the Rio Hotel where the auction took place, protesters began clashing with police. They threw stones, broke glass, and ignited fires. More than 1,000 National Force soldiers had to use tear gas to disperse the protesters, and some sustained injuries. But those that protested outside the headquarters of Petrobras conducted a peaceful demonstration, one that called for the nationalization of Brazil's oil industry.
Russia's prime minister is in Beijing at the start of a 2-day visit aimed at strengthening ties between the 2 countries. Dmitry Medvedev was welcomed in the capital by Premier Li Keqiang. Discussions are focusing on investment, energy, trade, and cultural exchanges. The 2 sides will sign a number of bilateral deals. Earlier this year, the 2 countries agreed to increase trade volume by $200 billion by 2020. Medvedev is scheduled to meet with President Xi Jinping. He will also visit Hefei and Anhui province to meet students and teachers at the Chinese University of Science and Technology.
A dashboard camera caught the moment a suicide bus blast erupted yesterday in southern Russia. The terror attack killed at least 6 people. The video shows the bus traveling down a roadway in Volgograd. At the moment of the explosion, frenzied passengers are shown jumping from the bus and running away. Investigators blamed a 30-year-old woman from Dagestan for the attack, which also wounded 32 people, 8 of whom are in critical condition. As Russia prepares to host the 2014 Winter Olympics in February, President Vladimir Putin has ordered authorities to boost security in the North Caucasus, where Islamist insurgency is rife.
A student in the U.S. state of Nevada opened fire with a semi-automatic handgun yesterday on his school campus. He wounded 2 12-year-old boys and killed a math teacher who was trying to protect the children. The unidentified shooter, that is, killed himself with his own gun after going on a shooting rampage in front of about 30 horrified students in Sparks, Nevada. The male teacher killed in the shooting was a military veteran with a wife and 2 kids. Both wounded students were listed in stable condition. Authorities are investigating the shooter's motive and how he got the gun.
And still ahead in our newscast. Survey shows more than 4% pay hikes for local workers next year. polls for a boost in vocational training. And what could be a step closer to a cure for hair loss?